Hey guys, so welcome to 5th grade or 4th grade, haha. I'm going to show you how to do long division today. So you guys, I'm going to start with a really easy example, like example number 1, just doing long division with numbers, and then we're going to kind of extend it to polynomials. And then what I'm going to show you guys is a new way to do it. It's called synthetic division, but you still need to know how to do long division as well because it does come up in calculus. Believe it or not, we're actually doing it right now. Okay, so let's look at example 1. So you have 26,534 divided by 7, okay? When you were in 4th grade, remember they taught you to do it like this. They put the 7 outside, right? Then the number, the big number on the inside, so 2, 6, 5, 3, 4. And then you guys remember when you're dividing, here let me do a different number, you always want to ask yourself, like, how many times does 7 go into 26? Well, you know, that only goes in 3 times, right? And then we're going to multiply these two. So 7 times 3 is 21. I'm going to erase this little line because it looks funky. Okay. And then remember what we do is we subtract these two numbers. So what I want you to start learning is we're going to do like a little rhyme thing. It's kind of dumb, but it works. Okay. We're going to draw the line and we're going to change the sign. And that's really going to be important when we're doing polynomials. Okay. So then when we subtract that, 26 minus 21, well, that's 5, and then we're going to bring down the 5. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to ask ourselves, how many times does 7 go into 55? Well, 7 times what would be 55? Like the closest thing I can think of would be 7 times 7, right? 7 times 7 is 49. And then again, we're going to draw the line and change the sign. And 55 minus 49, well, that's just 6. And then we're going to bring down the 3, and look at that, I'm running out of room. Okay, and how many times does 7 go into 63? Well, that goes in there 9 times exactly, right? If you multiply 9 times 7 is 63. Draw the line, change the sign, that's going to give you a 0. And then when we bring down the 4, you guys notice 7 can't go into 4. It's too small. So we're going to put a big fat 0, and then that 4 is going to become our remainder. Now, you guys, in like 4th grade, remember how you used to write this? This may bring back some good memories. Like we wrote R4. Okay, we don't really do that anymore, okay? In Algebra 2 Trig, the way that we're going to write the remainder is like this. We're going to write whatever the number that remains is, which is 4. And then we're going to put it over whatever number we divided by in the first place, which is the 7. So it's really 3,790 and 4/7. Okay, so let's take the same idea and apply it to polynomials. So I'm going to show you guys a couple examples here. Look, I left a lot of room. Okay, we're going to do it the same way. Whatever number you're dividing by or whatever polynomial you're dividing by is going to go on the outside. And then your long polynomial is going to go on the inside. So you have 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 16x minus 4. Okay, now with polynomials, like there's more than one thing happening here, right? So what you want to do is you want to look at just the first term of each polynomial, and you want to ask yourself, what do I have to multiply that x by to get 6x cubed exactly? Well, in that case, let me do it in black here, okay, I know that I have to multiply x by 6x squared to get that 6x cubed. Okay, so how many times does x go into 6x cubed? It goes in there 6x squared times. So we're going to go ahead and now, just like we did above, we're going to multiply. But this time, you guys, you're going to have to distribute. You're going to have to multiply to both of those. Okay, so on the first one, 6x squared times x, that's 6x cubed. And then 6x squared times negative 2 is negative 12x squared. Now, you guys, what did we do next? Now, the next step here was to subtract the two numbers. Well, we're subtracting a lot of things here. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the line and we're going to change the signs. There's more than one sign I have to change here. I have to make this one negative, and I'm going to change this negative into a positive. And I really recommend that you guys do it with a different color pen so it really pops out, okay? Now, notice something. These guys are going to cancel out, and they should. The first terms should always cancel out. If they don't, that means you did something wrong, okay? So then maybe try it again. Okay, so let's do it again, okay? Now let's see what happens. So negative 19x squared plus 12x squared, that's negative 7x squared. And then we're just going to bring down our next term, and we're going to repeat the whole process again until we run out of terms. Okay, so let's look at it again. How many times does x go into negative 7x squared? So a better way to think about it is, what do you have to multiply x by to get negative 7x squared? Well, that would be by negative 7x, right? So let's go ahead and multiply it. Negative 7x times x is negative 7x squared. Negative 7x times negative 2 is positive 14x. And then our dumb little rhyme that really works really well, we're going to draw the line and change the signs. So we're going to change this to a plus, change this guy to a big minus, and really emphasize that. Changing a plus to a minus with a pencil, you can't tell the difference, so be careful. Okay, and you guys notice these first two terms, again, should always cancel out. If they don't, you did something wrong. Okay, now let's go ahead and add down. So we have 16x minus 14x, that gives you 2x. And then bring down, this is the last term, so we're not going to have to do this very many more times. Okay, and then do it one more time. Okay, what do I have to multiply x by to get 2x? Well, that's getting a little bit easier. You have to multiply it by a 2, right? It's a positive 2, so it's going to be plus 2. And then let's do it one more time. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And you guys, one more time, we're going to draw that line and change those signs. And this time we got really lucky because look, they both cancel out, which means we do not have a remainder. This is really nice. So the answer to this is just 6x squared minus 7x plus 2. All right. Okay, let's do one that's a little bit trickier. So example 3 is kind of weird. It looks easy, but it's actually tricky. So what am I dividing by? I'm dividing by x minus 1, right? So I'm going to write x minus 1. Let's do that in blue. So I'm going to write the x minus 1. I don't like that blue. Sorry. My OCD coming back. Okay, so I'm going to put the x minus 1 on the outside. Now on the inside, I'm going to put this x cubed minus 1. But you guys notice it's missing a lot of stuff. It's missing the x squared term and the x term. So look, if you're missing terms, and write this down, this is important. If you're missing terms, hold their place with zeros. Now, what the heck does that mean? Okay, that means that if I'm missing an x squared term, I'm going to hold its place with a 0x squared. If I'm missing an x term, I'm going to hold its place with a 0x. And what that does, it just really lines things up really nicely so you can add them up as you're going down. You don't have to do it, but it sure gets kind of confusing if you don't. So look, my first term is an x cubed, right? I'm missing the x squared term, so I'm going to hold its place with a 0x squared. You guys, 0 times x squared is 0. It's just a placeholder. It doesn't do anything, right? I'm also missing the x term, so I'm going to hold its place with a 0x, and then I have that constant term minus 1 at the end. I really, really suggest you do that. Now, I can do it without doing that, but trust me, even for me, it gets confusing. Okay, so let's go back and do this the same way as we did example 2. So I want to ask myself, what do I have to multiply x by to get x cubed? It's a little bit easier on this one, right? That's just x squared. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and multiply and distribute. So that's going to give me x cubed minus x squared. And then you guys remember the little saying, we're going to draw the line and change the signs. Okay, these two should always cancel out. If they do not, you did something wrong. Okay, now let's go ahead and add these guys up. So 0x squared plus 1x squared, that's just 1x squared, right? Remember, this right here is nothing. It's a 0. So it's like 0 plus x squared is just x squared. Then I'm going to bring down the next term, which is the 0x. And again, that's just a placeholder. And we're going to do it one more time. Okay, so what do I have to multiply x by to get x squared? Well, this time I have to multiply that by a positive x, so I'm going to write plus x. And then let's multiply again. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x, or just negative x. Okay, now our little saying, we're going to draw the line and change the signs. And again, these guys cancel out. So as long as they're canceling out, you're probably doing things right. Okay, now check this out. We have 0x plus x. Remember, this is just a 0. So 0 plus x is just x. And then bring down the minus 1. And then do it one more time. So what do I have to multiply x by to get x? Okay, kind of a silly question, but people get confused with it. You just multiply it by 1, right? So by positive 1, and then multiply one more time. 1 times x is x. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And let's draw the line, change the signs. That cancels, check that out. We got a remainder of 0 again. Well, that's no fun. Let's do an example where we get a remainder of 0. So the answer here again is x squared plus x plus 1. Okay, now you guys look. when you get a remainder of 0, it means something really special that we're going to learn about later, okay? But for the most part, you're usually not going to get a remainder of 0, okay? So let me show you one that does not have a remainder of 0. Holy cow. Let's look at example 4. This is the last one. Okay, so what am I dividing by this time? Holy cow, I'm dividing by x squared plus 2x minus 3. Dividing that into all of this, which is 2, oh, I didn't do it the right color. It's okay. 2x to the 4th plus 4x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. And you guys, really quickly, as you write that down, I would check to make sure you don't have any missing terms. Look, you have an x to the 4th and x to the 3rd and x squared and x. You're not missing any, okay? So there's no need for placeholders. Now, don't panic when you're dividing by something huge. It's not a big deal. Basically, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to look at the first term of each polynomial, and you're going to ask yourself, what do I have to multiply x squared by to get 2x to the 4th? Well, in this case, I need to multiply it by 2x squared. Okay, and let's go ahead and do that. So 2x squared times x squared, that's 2x to the 4th. 2x squared times 2x is 4x cubed. Interesting. 2x squared times negative 3 is negative 6x squared, right? Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw the line, and then I'm going to change all the signs, okay? This time there's 3 I can't talk. This time there's 3 signs that you have to change. So I'm going to change this one to a minus, and this one to a plus. Okay, now you guys look, the first 2 should always cancel out, okay? And those should be the only ones that cancel out. But once in a blue moon, you get something like this, 4x cubed minus 4x cubed. You guys, 4x cubed minus 4x cubed also cancels out. But look, I'm going to go ahead, let's go ahead and cancel them out. I was going to hold its place, but I'm not, okay? So these guys this time canceled out as well. And don't let that mess with your head. It just means you got kind of like a little bonus gift, okay? Because that means you have to do less work. So watch. Now add these up. Negative 5x squared plus 6x squared is 1x squared. And now I'm going to bring down the 3x. But you guys look, notice, I have 3 terms here. I only have 2 here. So I'm going to do one extra thing and bring down one more term. So I always have the same number of terms that I'm dividing into. And the reason why that happened is because these guys cancel out as well, okay? Usually they don't, but in this case they did, and it's totally fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it again. Ready? I have to think of, what do I have to... Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm so sorry. Okay, I need to think of, what do I have to multiply x squared by to get x squared? Well, I just need to multiply that by a 1. So I'm going to go do a little plus 1. My gosh, all my colors are off. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this by a positive 1. And let's see what happens. 1 times x squared is x squared, right? Sorry, the colors are everywhere. 1 times 2x is 2x. And then 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Okay, now I'm going to draw the line and change all the signs. Now look what happens here. These 2 should always cancel out. The other ones don't have to, okay? So let's see what we get when we add them up. So you get 3x minus 2x, that's just 1x, and negative 2 plus 3, well, that's a positive 1. Now you guys look, this ends up actually being my remainder. Now you may be thinking, a remainder can have an x in it? Well, in this case, yeah, because look, if I tried doing this again, going, what do I have to multiply x squared by to get x? Can't do that. X squared's bigger than x. You're stuck, right? So this thing actually is your remainder this time. So for the first time, we have a remainder. Now look, when you get a remainder, you need to ask yourself. First, you're going to ask yourself, is this positive or is it negative? This case, we can't tell because we don't know what x is, so we're just going to call it positive. But you guys, normally your remainder would be like a 2 or a minus 3 or something like that, okay? Depending on what sign the remainder is the sign that's going to go up here. Because it has an x in it, I don't know, so I'm just going to call it plus, okay? Now, what's the remainder? It's x plus 1, so I'm going to write x plus 1 all over what I divided by in the first place. And that is your final answer. Let me cross that off. That's kind of confusing. So you get 2x squared plus 1 plus x plus 1 all over x squared plus 2x minus 3. That is your final answer. all right? So look, I hope you enjoyed that. I gave you guys a couple problems to practice on in the book. So please try that, because guess what? On Thursday and Friday, we're going to do something really cool. I'm going to show you guys another way to do this. It's called synthetic division, and it's a lot faster, and it's really cool. Okay? But you still have to know how to do this, because you do have to know how to do it in calculus. All right? Okay, hope you guys have a good day. Bye.